Armed with their traditionally strong defense, the Washington Redskins were supposed to finish the New York Giants both early and convincingly last Sunday in Shea Stadium. But by the second quarter, it was apparent that it wasn't going to be easy. It wasn't until the final quarter that the Redskins' defense finally snuffed out New York's victory hopes. Washington is second only to Minnesota in points given up thus far in the NFC. And in tuning up for this week's clash with St. Louis, their defense certainly appears set. Offensively, things started well for Billy Kilmer. However, this 96-yard pass to Frank Grant was to be the extent of any Redskin offensive outburst, and things got complicated when a separated shoulder forced Billy Kilmer out of the game. The burden then fell to the Redskin running game, and rookie Mike Thomas responded with 123 hard-earned yards. Though the Redskins finally won at 21-13, the possibility of having to replace Kilmer will undoubtedly force Washington to make some adjustments. The St. Louis Cardinals, meanwhile, were adjusting to some quarterback problems of a different nature. Ironically, near-perfect pass protection for number 17, Jim Hart, may be the cause for a rash of interceptions he has suffered this season, a total that already exceeds his league-leading low of last year. Hart explains why he's being sacked less, but intercepted more.
It's a change in number 17. He's just blowing some of the passes, that's all. It's not changed any philosophy of ours at all. We started the season, the first half of the season anyway, we had a very good record going for quarterback sacks. And I must admit that perhaps subconsciously I was thinking about protecting that record. And what I was doing, instead of giving our offensive line the credit, I was really discrediting them in saying that they can't hold them out long enough, so I'm dumping the balls too soon. So then after we got a couple sacks against the Giants, we just said, you know, scrap all that nonsense. Let's go back to throwing the ball like we know how.
Setting up behind the safest offensive line in the NFL, Hart has only been sacked twice in 8 games. The NFL record is 8 for an entire season. In last Sunday's come-from-behind win over the Eagles, Jim Hart took full advantage of his protection. He unleashed passes that spiraled out for over 200 yards and 1 touchdown for his Cardinals. The Cards lead the NFC in total offense and have proven scoring potential. Thus far, their biggest problems have been on defense. Although many opponents have celebrated in the Cardinal end zone this season, the Big Red defense has shown a flair for coming up with performances which are a must for a contender. All-Pro cornerback Roger Worley's interception turned back 1 Eagle threat, and 2 second-half Cardinal touchdowns set the stage for veteran kicker Jim Bakken. who lined up from 30 yards out with one last chance to boot the Cardinals to victory. The kick was good and helped the Cardinals retain their first-place tie with this week's foe, the Washington Redskins. And for the second time this season, a Jim Bakken field goal in the final seconds had provided St. Louis with the victory. The value of having an unshakable pro like the 14-year veteran had again proved to be invaluable to a team vying for contention and their confident coach, Don Coryell.
What were your thoughts in those last 3 seconds, Coach?
Well, at a time like that, you just don't even take time to think. I thought of them, well, they'd be calling timeout, or because of the crowd making so much noise, we wouldn't be able to hear the holder, and they would delay things, but that wouldn't make a bit of difference to Bags. Jim Bakken, he wouldn't care. He'd just lean back there and relax a little bit more. Kick the ball probably better. He's been doing it for a lot of years, and he certainly has come through when the pinch is on.